Konnichiwa. I'm Dave.
And I'm Chris, and there's really no need to adjust your monitors. I am in fact blonde now.
And this, as you may have already guessed, is Horror Happy Hour.
That's right. We also have a website. I'm sure that Dave was going to say that at some point anyway, so I'm just going to beat him to the chase. It's horrorhappyhour.com. You should check us out.
Yeah, definitely check us out. Interviews, DVD release dates, comic release dates, graphic novel release dates, reviews, short films, yada yada yada.
Yeah, and if you want to send us a short, or if you want to be part of our New Voices section, please email us at horrorhappyhour@yahoo.com and we will get you all set up.
But until then, alcoholism.
Yeah, this is our third take, so we're a little bit drunk. And I blame all of you for my up-and-coming alcohol problem, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
So, it's your fault. Get
It
that?
is.
Your fault.
All of you.
So anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
Dr. Thunder.
Dr. Thunder!
The bootlegs Octopepper. Anyway, so today...
It's 66 cents.
Yeah. So today we're going to be reviewing Bunnyman.
Bunnyman! Bunnyman! Bunnyman!
Watch a 7-foot-tall Bunnyman fuck shit up. Watch Bunnyman make random people his bitch.
Which was written and directed by the nicest guy on earth, Carl Lindbergh.
Carl Lindbergh, not Charles Lindbergh, the guy who flew across the
No,
Atlantic.
Carl. Who dealt with all my annoying questions back and forth about his movie, so kudos to you, because I can be pretty annoying.
I can verify that,
Yeah, I am.
as you may have already guessed. Okay, Bunnyman. Let's get into what the plot. Okay, Bunnyman it starts.
It's starring.
Oh, it's starring. It's starring Cheryl Texeria. Instead of trying to pronounce this, I'm just going to say this chick. She's in a lot of TV shows, like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Parks and Recreation, The Mentalist, and other shows I haven't heard of. And Elena Gianci. If you look on IMDb, it's Elena Gianci, but if you look at the movie, it's Elena Gianci. I didn't know which one to go with. I am really surprised that I remembered any of that
I gotta
shit.
give you kudos for
That
that.
is
3 shots
some
in,
shit.
and your brain is pretty good to go.
The memory is still going.
So,
Anyway, Bunnyman is basically like, you know, the road horror kind of duel movies. You add that to a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, crazy family kind of thing, and you wrap it all up in
a
a...
guy in a bunny suit.
Which is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah. With a chainsaw.
With a chainsaw and shit. So, I mean, come on.
And you have the awesomeness that is Bunnyman.
Bunnyman! And now a word from our Crystal.
Watch the deleted scenes, because some questions that you might have about things that like kind of didn't either jive or make a total sense will be answered in them.
And the deleted scene.
For time, obvious reasons, and the fact that they were shooting in the middle of fucking nowhere, so...
We kept asking ourselves and shit during the movie and whatnot, why don't any of these people have cell phones?
Yeah.
And part of the plot and whatnot, if you read the plot, is that they just came back from a Las Vegas trip and made a deal with each other not to have cell phones on this trip.
But because of time restraints, that obviously wasn't added in. It was in the deleted scenes,
in the
but
deleted
was not added into the movie, so
Got it.
it wasn't really a plot hole.
Question answered.
Yes.
So, they keep getting fucked with on the road by this giant dump truck looking thing. It's a dump truck. Being driven by a guy in a bunny suit.
Which they don't know.
They don't know
for
that that's a
a
guy
while.
in a bunny suit and shit.
For a while.
Yeah, until they come across, like, in the woods and whatnot. They're walking around into, like, the California sticks, Southern California sticks for a while up in the... I mean, I'm going to assume the mountains. I don't know if it's the mountains. Let's just say it's the mountains. It's the mountains.
We don't know anything about California, so if you guys don't have mountains, are bad.
Yeah, seriously. But, they come across this guy in a giant bunny suit in the woods, cutting into brains and surrounded by dead bodies, and then... But, he fucks with them on the road and kills one of their friends, and they just kind of, like, walk away from their friend. Just walk away.
Just like, we're just gonna leave him there.
Leave him, he's fixing the car and shit like that. The truck hits him, he gets hit and shit like that, gets killed and whatnot. And we're like, we'll leave him under the car. And
we're gonna go walk and find help.
Yeah, because
or we're gonna go walk and find a cop or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
So this movie to me wasn't like ultimately like a giant gore fest. However, it worked.
It definitely had its
a lot
scenes.
of fucking chainsaw scenes. Really digging chainsaws. It had like possibly one of the hottest bad guys ever as far as chick-wise goes. She was evil and she was smoking.
Tiffany?
Yeah.
played by Elena Gianci.
Yeah, we love you.
Yes, totally. Yeah, we do.
Come and marry me.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you marry her, you gotta marry me.
Well,
It's
no,
kinda like
you could just...
kind of like, well, just cut me out of the scenario. Jesus. Marry me. Don't marry her. I'm cooler. I'm 10 times cooler.
If you said so.
Much cooler.
I'm blonde.
Well, I'm hairless.
But we really love this movie. Like, it was fun. Unfortunately, because we have kids, we had to watch this movie. It took us about 6 hours to watch a 2-hour movie, but
3-year-old daughter keeps running in the room like, Bunnyman!
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, oh, well, you can't because I let her watch the trailer and shit like that. I'm sorry and shit. Any, like, parents out there are like, oh, don't let your kids watch a guy in a giant bunny suit. And it's like,
But
well,
we
how the
didn't
hell am I
want to let
supposed
her
do
watch
that?
any of the murder, death, kill.
No, she just kind of saw the guy in the bunny suit
Yeah,
and
and she
shit.
was like, oh my god, they're watching a movie about a giant bunny!
Yeah, she has no fears.
But,
I don't know what it is with that child. But
yeah.
So they're on the road and they're in the sticks and they come across this path and it has upside down crosses marking the whole sides of the path.
Like bags of bones hanging
Bags of bones hanging in trees, and they come across this guy Joe. Probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie is their interaction with this guy Joe.
Joe is out of his fucking mind.
Joe is fucking out of it, completely out of his mind. I'd like to see more of Joe. Apparently, there's supposed to be a Bunnyman sequel.
I don't know if we were supposed to tell you that though.
There's gonna be yeah, you can see it. It says it. It says it somewhere. I'm sure it's on the internet. There's gonna be a sequel, Bunnyman 2.
Yeah, we're excited about this actually because we
Yeah.
enjoyed the first one and we feel as though the second one can only be better than how good the first one was. And the first one, I mean, I'm really not into the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing. Ask him. I kind of really don't like those movies.
I know that is heresy. And
Yeah,
shit, but
my
to
bad.
make up for it,
I'm not gonna lie.
to make up for it, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all its sequels, which basically were remakes of the original.
But blood does make me smile.
Blood does make me smile, and it is flashing everywhere.
Yes,
Somebody
it
gets
is.
pulled in half.
This chick is the one that gets pulled in half.
Yeah.
All kinds of greatness and shit,
But
knives
this
and
did.
torture.
I felt
and-
like this took like a unique turn with the costume and with like
Yes.
how fucked up Tiffany was and how fucked up the rest of the family was. I felt like this to me was a lot better. It definitely exceeded my expectations of those types of movies.
No, like a lot of those Texas Chainsaw Massacre rip-off movies, you know that they're like nothing in comparison to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm not saying that this is like any kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and shit like that. I would kind of like categorize it as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of movie with a guy in a giant bunny suit.
But it worked.
Yeah.
And like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which the originals really didn't have any gore at all.
This one doesn't have too much. in the way
No,
of
but it has lots of splashing fun blood.
Yeah, lots of blood, lots of torture scenes, lots of crazy families. You got the crazy hot Tiffany. You have Bunnyman, who uses his bunny suit almost as a security blanket. I read that off the plot. I didn't actually make that up. I didn't come up with that. Just like Leatherface uses his whole outfit as a security blanket. You have Goggles. I'm calling him Goggles. I really don't know what his name is. He's a crazy dude. He kind of gets in this semi-rape scene with this chick, even though it's not really a rape scene and shit, because, I mean, somebody's pants actually has to be down for there to be penetration, for it to be considered rape. So it's kind of like dry humping. So we're saying Bunnyman, Goggles, this other chick, and this other dude. I don't even know halfway through the movie what happens to this dude.
Yeah. Well, that's when we're assuming that the sequel's gonna focus more on the rest of the family, like what's going on with them, and we really can't wait because, like I said, this movie was really good. We had a lot of fun with it.
It was definitely very solid
And
and shit.
I was-
You're gonna hear lots of trains, like for instance, the train
Yeah.
that's coming right now because my window's open, and planes and
And explosions, because it's the 4th of July, which is another reason why we're a little intoxicated.
Mhm.
It's not just for you guys.
It's the
I
sound of
lied
freedom.
earlier. But
bombs bursting, rockets red flaring. It's all the sound.
it's
of
all
freedom.
happening right outside my window, right
It's all
now.
the sound of freedom.
The sound of
It's
freedom.
the sound of freedom.
Death is the sound of freedom.
Explosions equals freedom.
So, I would definitely. I don't really know what I would rate this movie. Actually, I would probably give it an 8.
It was yeah. I would rate it as an 8. It was definitely a solid ass movie and whatnot. And what's weird about it is there isn't too much of a soundtrack going on. You're not going to hear a lot of sounds.
I love that. We've had this debate many times, me and Dave, about soundtracks in movies as opposed to not having one. I personally don't like music in movies. It ruins it for me. Because in real life, there's not somebody carrying a boombox around with you, like, playing the soundtrack of your fucking life.
Like, there isn't an orchestra in my
yeah.
bedroom right now and shit like that. Like, kind of like, musicalizing. I don't even know. That's
Musicalizing.
Musicalizing my review.
Musicalizing.
Musicalizing. This is. I made it up in case you wanted to look it up. It's a me word.
Yeah. So, I like that. It kept with the realness of it.
Yes. Give me a scored movie any day over this heavy metal bullshit. But in this movie, there's no score. There's no anything, and it kind of gives it a like. It's not a bad hollow feeling, but it's like they're out in the woods. They're lost in the woods. So obviously, like a violin score, like is not going to make too much sense and shit out in the sticks.
Yeah.
So it does fit with it very, very well. Not so.
A lot of good dialogue between the characters, and I felt like each of the actors did a good job selling it.
Except for the fact that they all made decisions that no person in their right mind would ever make. Like, for instance, if you get your hand on the chainsaw, you don't stand around and look at Bunnyman like, hey, what am I supposed to do with this thing? But horror movie victims seldom make good decisions, so why should they start now?
They really did. It starts off cat and mouse, turns into Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, and there are torture type scenes and shit, and there's a lot of madness going on. Now the characters and whatnot, this is my one complaint with the movie, is that the characters are making just kind of like dumb-ass decisions. Almost like, it could almost be construed as insensitive decisions. That's not a giant goose. That is in fact an asshole train. I have nothing against trains, it's just that...
We've lived in three apartments over the course of our marriage and life together, and every one of them have been next to a train station and right near an airport. I don't know how that works, because we live in New York,
Yeah,
and apparently we managed to move into the only 3 locations in New York in which this happens, so... There you go.
Fuck. Anyway.
Um...
Excellent movie and shit. It's not available on Netflix.
Yeah. So you have to buy it.
You're gonna have to put it in your save folder on Netflix. Save it to your save folder.
Yes, save it to your save folder. This is how movies wind up on Netflix,
yes.
people, so get on that. It's a little button, all you gotta do is hit save.
Save, and eventually you will be able to rent it on Netflix if enough people hit save.
So get on that.
Buy it. I would recommend buying it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you're a fan of movies like Duel or Joyride or these horror mascots,
like the Rob Zombie kind of flicks, Firefly Family. This
this
was on par with stuff like that. You
Yes.
will enjoy this. I highly recommend buying it. What was I gonna say? I was so excited. The redhead was buck hot.
Yeah, super hot. Cheryl.
For me, it just takes a couple hot chicks and a lot of blood, and I'm pretty happy.
Put him in a tank top and a pair of
she was
short
nice.
shorts.
Enjoyed that.
Definitely solid there. Redhead. Definitely something to look at the whole time. See her running around. The rest of the chicks are just kind of like, eh. You got the blonde, the brunette, and the redhead. How that worked out. And what's weird is the characters are not the regular stereotypical characters where it's like
there's no archetype. Like they're not following any kind of like the hero, the villain, the blah blah blah. You know,
exactly.
They're all
the nerd.
They're all whoever. They're all just a group of people that you would expect to hang out with each other. Which a lot of movies fail on in that level because like a lot of times you'll see like the jock hanging out with the nerd, hanging out with the hot chick, hanging out with the fucking...
The slut, hanging out with the bitch.
That never happens! Show me this group of people!
They do not exist. They do not exist outside.
People hang out with pretty much their own type of people. You know, goths don't hang out with jocks, typically.
Now these horror movies, I'm going to call them mascot horror movies, seem to be popping up quite a bit now. I mean, I've seen Executive Koala, and I just got Black Rat. I'm going to review it. I haven't watched it yet. But that's another one where it's like the person wearing like the giant like rat head going around killing people, and now Bunnyman. Now there's another movie, Bunnyman, that is I think ridiculous. I haven't seen it yet to make that judgment, but just because this one was awesome, I'm just going to say that one was ridiculous. That's purely based on absolutely nothing.
So anyway, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Could have used a little more gore.
Could have used. But
we're gore hounds, so of course we're going to say that. And other than that, really, I enjoyed the fuck out of this. I would definitely watch it again. I definitely would not mind purchasing this, and you shouldn't either. So
seeing a guy in a giant bunny suit is fucking creepy.
It was unique. It was unique in that sense. So
definitely creepy.
Yeah. So go out and buy this.
I would definitely buy it and shit.
With that,
if I didn't already have it, I would buy it. Again.
So with that, we are our happy hour, and we appreciate you watching us.
Yes.
And we're probably going to pass out drunk now.
Yes.
So thank you.
Alcoholism.
Neuter and spay.
Patriotism.
Your giant fucking bunnies.
Lesbianism. Criticism. And I'm sure there's a fifth ism, but all those isms make up America.
Lesbianism makes up America.
Lesbianism makes up America. You tell me you don't love lesbianism, and I'm calling you un-American.
Anyway, neuter and spay your giant bunnies. You're 7 foot tall. Freaks wearing bunny suits, okay?
And unlike Leatherface, you do get to see his face.
Yes.
You do get to see his face.
And it was epic.
And it was, yes, it was epic.
Alright, anyway, peace out.
Peace out.